want to talk a bit about Connor Bedard, and what we're talking about. Obviously, he's the kind of player that didn't play 40-second shifts. I watched him play major junior, and he would play as long as he could, 4-minute shift. He got all kinds of extra ice time, and last year at Chicago was a struggle, but they interviewed him, and he got it. When he was playing junior, they had to win World Juniors. He was on the ice all the time, and he could do his thing. But when I talked to Brad Pascal about the American League team, and Brad's the assistant general manager with the Flames, the manager of the Wranglers. The biggest problem is with our draft picks, they don't know how to play a short shift. They've all been so good at the junior level, they don't have good habits, 200-foot habits without the puck. They take all kinds of risks, which have made them be as good as they are.
Yeah.
And now the learning curve here for a coach is reining them in to that structure to the point where they still contribute.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Leafs struggle with their superstars. All the teams struggle with their superstars. And I think that the bottom line to me is shift length and energy.
Yeah. Well, try to get good habits from the junior and midget level, and it starts with that. And to your point, Wally, I remember every year I coached the Buffs at tryouts and the start of the season. I had, for some reason, the minor midget players, the two teams at the top players in the league, score in the league. They're on the ice all the time. They cut corners and everything. But when they got to me, they had a tough time making the teams. I kept them on the team because they were the top players a year before, but their skating was not up to par. The intensity level was not up to par. Everybody else wanted to make the team so bad they were going hard, and it's amazing. It just the bad habits carries, and there used to be an expression, this guy is a good junior guy, meaning like after junior he's done. He could be the top scorer. You see a lot of those guys after that, they just can't make it. Minor, NHL or minors after that. So
back in your day, Claude, national team or whatever, what was your shift lengths?
oh, they were short. Um, with the national team when we played the Russians, 20, 30 seconds have to be solid. You don't have the puck. You have to work hard to get it back or protect. NHL, the shift length, if you were going over 40 or 45, you heard it coming back on the bench. Obviously, the top guys are at the longer leash,
Yeah.
but you know, that's what I try to teach my kids. Just give me a solid 30, 40 seconds all out,
Yeah.
you know.
But you know, the idea of shift length and playing the Russians, uh, people out there don't really know what we had to cope with.
Oh, yeah.
They were so skilled. I remember Dave King came back from the Izvestia,
Hmm.
and it was like it was yesterday. He said, Wally, we never touched the puck in the first period. We never had possession in the first period. And he said, when I came to the dressing room and stood outside the door, the players were saying everything that we were saying as coaches. Short shifts, face the puck, swivel ahead,
Oh, I
stop and
was there.
start.
I was there.
Yeah. And he just laughed at it because until you experience being outplayed to the degree, you don't learn the importance of it. And
Yeah.
nobody really knew how good the Russians were.
Exactly. And to your point, Wally, I was at that game. I remember thinking a fella asking the ref if we could play with a second puck, and we never. And that was the first, my first time as Vestia, first time playing those Russian. As it was another world. But the next year, yeah, I don't know if you were on that trip or whatever, we beat the Russians in the semifinal. We work our butts off. And if you'd walk in our dressing room, we were sitting down and with a gear on, sweating, and it's just like we lost the game. It's not like we lost the game. We give it all. We worked so hard, and we knew what to expect. Head on the swivel. They were under siege a lot, but we worked hard, and I never worked so hard in my life in a hockey game to that game.
Well, Claude, my job really was to work with defensive skating,
Yeah.
primarily with the defense. And I wasn't a defenseman, but I became sort of a skating expert, and I was a bit of a technical coach. So I spent a lot of time on facing the puck and controlled skating, like playing defenses, knowing when and how to pressure, when and how to contain. And we could play the Russians 5-on-5, no doubt. And we had good habits, but we could maintain D side. We wouldn't overskate or the puck in our end and give them the inside of the ice. But there was so much time spent on what I call defensive tactical skating, and that nobody teaches it anymore. It's all offensive skating, and
Yeah.
they're so good that I like it because it's entertainment that you want. You don't want,
Mhm.
you don't buy tickets to see a team win 1-0 because of their defense.
Yeah.
But I think we really learned how to coach and teach with Dave in that environment. He really, and Tom's taken one of his drills. You remember the backward race drill where the D were on the dots and the forwards would be on the goal line with a puck?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember spending time on backward striding, allowing only one crossover to start, sit tall, ride a horse, shoulders over the heels because you're going backwards, north south arms, just all the teaching points that nobody does today. And
Mhm.
when we did that drill, it took a while, but the D could start on the dot and the forward would be on the goal line. Now, if the forward was too fast, you might back the D up a bit, give him a chance. And I remember when Randy Craig joined the team,
Oh, I remember that exactly.
and we did that drill. Well, we had to put him at the top of the circle so he wouldn't get beat.
He got killed.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that. He got killed. He was so mad. I think he was mad and embarrassed. Like that was unbelievable.
I remember it was like yesterday where, okay, so here I am today, 40 years later, trying to teach coaches that this matters. This is important. And Tom's taken some of those drills and applied them. And our defense are striding well backwards. They're maintaining gaps. Uh, but back in that day, gap control, Dave always used to say a horizontal gap and a vertical gap. And I don't know if you remember, but you weren't a defenseman, but normally you let the align your outside shoulder with the defenseman's inside shoulder. You keep them outside.
Hmm.
Well, against the Russians, we had to align our shoulder with the middle of their body, the crotch. We had to tighten up that horizontal gap.
Yes.
That's how finite the level of skill is. And now in today's game, I don't think you want to play anybody striding backwards. You want to surf them.
Yeah.
You want to angle them and take them out in the neutral zone. Don't allow the entries. So
yeah,
the game today is growing so fast, and the NHL game is just wonderful to watch. So
that's why the supporting on the ice is important. You're talking about surfing. For the defenseman to be able to stop a guy at the red line, his partner has to start surfing across to get a loose puck. But yes, and the playoff Edmonton against I don't know if you remember Edmonton against Colorado. McDavid got the puck. He went flying, and then McCarr was skating backwards, and he stayed within the whole time. It's almost like it was.
I remember that play.
I was shocked, and he just barely skated backwards, and he stayed with McDavid. That's what I knew that kid was special. I think McCarr is a superstar like McDavid is.
oh yes.
Yeah, I see. He's got almost
Schumi
30
coached
points.
him in the
Right?
Flames there. Schumi coached him in Bantam on that. You know Mike, right? Did you play with him in Switzerland?
Yeah.
Well, he said he played with one of the Staskies. I don't know which one, Anton or whatever.
If it's in Europe, it's Anton. Yeah.
Yeah. He said he told him just be near the dot with your stick on the ice. And Schumi can really shoot the puck. He said he just put the puck on his stick and he'd fire it.
Yeah.
We're going to be working on those defensive skills tonight at practice.
Yeah. Tom, I don't know if you got a pen and paper handy, but I put a drill on for surfing. I think it's the best one out. Claude, if you can visualize.
I saw it on the internet there.
Yeah. There's a one-on-one puck protection in diagonal corners at each end. And on the whistle, the puck carrier races to the other end. And the second player moves to the neutral zone and surfs the guy racing to the other end.
I've seen that drill, yeah.
What a drill. Like, I saw one of the girls do it with the U13s, and she wasn't their best player, but she was their smartest player. And it's amazing how some defensemen that aren't flash and dash and look good, they can play so smart. That's what I find watching the D-Door last night. Probably the best defensemen were the 3, 4, 5 defensemen. They think the game, like they know how to switch. And I was amazed. It was just great to watch. And that's where I think coaches can make a big difference in letting the kids figure it out, think the game, and just keep the fundamentals in terms of tactical play simple. But
repetition and retention.
Yeah.